Mrs. Vanessa Sterling didn't even look me in the eye when she told me to pack 20 years of my life into a garbage bag. "You're too old for this now, Ellen," she said, casually swirling her champagne glass like she was discussing the weather. "Besides, I've noticed some of my silver spoons going missing. You should be grateful I'm not calling the cops. Now get out." I just stood there, frozen. 20 years. I'd scrubbed the marble floors of this mansion until my knees bled. When her daughter Caroline spiked a fever in the middle of the night, I was the one sitting by her bedside while Mrs. Sterling was out at some charity gala. I ironed her husband's shirts, cooked his meals, even remembered to buy anniversary gifts when he forgot. And now, just like that, I was being tossed out like yesterday's trash over some theft I didn't commit. My hands shook as I untied my apron. "All right, Mrs. Sterling," I said. My voice came out steadier than I expected. Maybe because right then, in the pocket of my worn cardigan, I was carrying something Mrs. Sterling didn't know about. Something way more valuable, and way more dangerous, than any silver spoon. A single piece of paper that could blow this entire family's life to smithereens. If you're reading this story right now, just know, what you're about to hear is the coldest kind of justice you can imagine. The whole thing really started 3 days earlier, when I was cleaning Mrs. Sterling's private study, the one I was usually forbidden to enter. For years, she'd kept this one particular drawer locked tight. But that day, for the first time ever, it was sitting open just a crack. Maybe she'd left in a hurry, or maybe fate had finally decided to be on my side for once. I was dusting when I spotted it, an old, yellowed envelope tucked way in the back. There was a clinic's name printed on the front. Curiosity got the better of me, I'll admit it. After all these years of loyalty, I opened it. What fell out made my blood run cold. A DNA paternity test result. And beneath it, a handwritten note, crumpled and smoothed out again, like someone had tried to throw it away but changed their mind. The words were scrawled in Mrs. Sterling's loopy handwriting: "If Richard finds out the truth, we're both finished. This secret goes to the grave. V." It didn't take me long to figure out who the "we" was. The old chauffeur, that handsome guy who'd mysteriously vanished about 5 years back, I remembered him. Mr. Richard Sterling had coal black eyes, but Caroline's eyes were honey brown, just like that chauffeur's. For years, everyone had explained it away with "she takes after her mother." But that was a lie, and now the proof was literally trembling in my hands. So when Mrs. Sterling stood there calling me a thief, tossing me out like garbage, I knew something she didn't. The real thief in this house wasn't me. It was her. She'd stolen 20 years of fatherhood from a man who'd done nothing but love and provide for a child who wasn't even his. I packed my bag slowly, deliberately. On my way out, I ran into Mr. Sterling in the hallway. He looked exhausted, like always. He gave me that same polite nod he always did. "Good evening, Ellen," he said. He had no idea I'd just been fired. No clue his whole world was about to implode. "Mr. Sterling," I said, stopping. "I wanted to leave you a little goodbye gift." Mrs. Sterling just let me go. His face changed instantly. "What? Why?" "Doesn't matter," I told him. "I just wanted you to know, I left a folder on your desk. Thought it was my notes about household supplies, but I think some of Mrs. Sterling's private papers got mixed in by accident. You might want to take a look." From behind us, Mrs. Sterling's voice cut through the air like a knife. "Richard, don't listen to her. She's lost her mind." She was rushing toward us, her heels clicking frantically on the marble floor. But I was already out the door. The night air hit me like a slap. It was freezing, but inside I was burning up. I flagged down a cab and told the driver to take me to the cheap motel on 5th Street. But I asked him to park around the corner from the Sterling mansion first. I wanted to watch. I needed to see what would happen. I sat in that cab for maybe 20 minutes, windows cracked just enough to hear. The mansion glowed like something out of a magazine, all those warm lights, the perfectly manicured lawn, the fountain in the circular driveway. From the outside, it looked like the American dream. But I knew better. I'd seen what went on behind those walls. Then it started. First, I heard glass shattering. Then shouting, Mr. Sterling's voice, which I'd only ever heard calm and measured, was now roaring like thunder. I couldn't make out the words, but the rage was unmistakable. Then came Mrs. Sterling's voice, and it wasn't the commanding, ice-cold tone I'd known for 2 decades. This was desperate. Pleading. Almost childlike. Richard, I can explain. I swear I can explain this. But there are some things you can't explain away. DNA doesn't lie. The truth doesn't negotiate. The cab driver glanced at me in the rearview mirror. You okay, ma'am? You know these people? Used to, I said. Used to. More shouting. A door slamming. The sound of something heavy being thrown, maybe a chair, maybe a table. I couldn't tell. The driver looked uncomfortable. You want me to call someone? He asked. No, I said. Just wait. About 40 minutes after I'd left that folder on Mr. Sterling's desk, the front door burst open. Mrs. Vanessa Sterling, the woman who never left the house without a full face of makeup and a designer outfit, came stumbling down the front steps in nothing but a silk bathrobe, clutching a hastily packed duffel bag. Her hair was a mess. Even from a distance, I could see her mascara running. Mr. Sterling appeared in the doorway behind her. In his hand, I could see that paper, the DNA test, glowing white under the porch light. 20 years. His voice carried all the way down the street. 20 goddamn years, Vanessa. I raised another man's child. I loved her. I worked myself to the bone for her. And you let me. You stood there every single day and let me live a lie. Mrs. Sterling turned back, reaching for him. Richard, please. Get out, he said. His voice dropped, but somehow that made it scarier. Get the hell out of my life. The door slammed. This time, it was so hard I heard it echo. Mrs. Sterling stood there on the driveway in the rain that had just started falling, holding that bag, looking around like she didn't know where to go. She'd owned this town, this life, this perfect image. Now she was standing outside in a bathrobe, homeless. Drive, I told the cabbie. He didn't ask any more questions. I checked into the Sunset Motel, one of those places where they don't ask questions as long as your cash is good. The room smelled like cigarettes and cheap air freshener, but I didn't care. I sat on the edge of the bed and just stared at the wall for a long time. What had I done? I'd destroyed a family. That's what it felt like. Caroline, sweet Caroline, who used to bring me dandelions from the yard when she was little, who called me Ellie because she couldn't pronounce Ellen, she was going to find out the man she called Dad wasn't her biological father. Her whole life was about to change. But then I remembered, I didn't destroy this family. Vanessa Sterling did. 20 years ago, when she made her choices. I just brought the truth to light. Still, sleep didn't come easy that night. The next morning, my phone rang at 8:15 a.m. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. Ellen? It was Mr. Sterling's voice. But it didn't sound like him. The smooth, confident businessman I had known was gone. This voice was broken. Aged. Raw. "Mr. Sterling," I said carefully. There was a long pause. I could hear him breathing. "I don't even know where to start," he finally said. "Ellen, that folder you left. The DNA test. The note. I need you to know something." I waited. "I already suspected," he said. "Not about the chauffeur specifically, but I've had doubts for years. Caroline doesn't look like me. Doesn't act like me." I told myself I was being paranoid, that I was a terrible person for even thinking it. But deep down, I knew. I just didn't want to face it. My throat tightened. "Mr. Sterling?" "No, let me finish," he said. "You gave me proof. You gave me the truth. And as much as it's killing me right now, I needed that. I needed to stop living in denial. So thank you. Thank you for being brave enough to show me what my own wife didn't have the guts to tell me." I didn't know what to say. "I've transferred some money to your account," he continued. "It's not enough, nothing could be enough for 20 years of loyalty, but I want you to have it. You deserve so much better than how Vanessa treated you." "You didn't have to," I started. "Yes, I did," he interrupted. "Ellen, you were more honest with me in one moment than my wife was in 2 decades. Check your account. And please, take care of yourself." The line went dead. I pulled up my banking app with shaking hands. When I saw the number, I actually gasped out loud. $50,000. Enough to change my life. Enough to start over. I sat there in that dingy motel room, holding my phone, and I started crying. Not sad tears, exactly. Not happy ones either. Just release. Over the next few days, I stayed in that motel and watched the news unfold through text messages from old friends who still worked in the neighborhood. The gossip network in wealthy circles is faster than any news channel. Vanessa Sterling was staying with her sister in Connecticut, apparently. The sister wasn't happy about it. Vanessa had nowhere else to go, her parents were dead, and most of her friends had been country club acquaintances who dropped her the second scandal hit. Caroline had found out. A friend of a friend told me she'd come home from college to chaos, her parents separating, her mother gone, her father barely holding it together. When Richard finally told her the truth, she apparently didn't cry. She just got very quiet. Then she called her mother exactly once. What she said, I don't know for sure. But Vanessa didn't come back to the house. Caroline stayed with her father. Richard Sterling hired a lawyer. Divorce papers were filed within a week. He also started the process of legally disavowing paternity, though from what I heard, he couldn't quite go through with it. Despite everything, he'd raised Caroline. You can't just erase 18 years of being someone's dad, even when you find out you're not biologically connected. But the trust? The inheritance? The college fund he'd been building? All of that got frozen. Vanessa wasn't getting a penny beyond what the prenup required, which apparently wasn't much. She'd been so confident in her deception that she'd signed a pretty airtight agreement before the wedding. Karma's funny like that. As for me, I took that money and I left town. I didn't owe anyone explanations, didn't need to stick around for the fallout. I'd spent 20 years in that mansion, and I was done. I drove south, down the coast, until I found a little town called Miramar Beach. It was one of those places where nobody cares who you used to be or where you came from. The ocean was right there, endless and blue. I found a small house, nothing fancy, just 2 bedrooms and a porch, for sale at a price I could actually afford with my savings plus Mr. Sterling's gift. I bought it cash. First time in my life I'd ever owned anything. The day I moved in, I sat on that porch with a cup of coffee and watched the sunrise over the water. Seagulls cried overhead. The salt air filled my lungs. For the first time in 20 years, nobody was ringing a bell for me. Nobody needed me to cook breakfast or iron shirts or pretend not to notice the cracks in their perfect marriage. I was free. But guilt still gnawed at me sometimes. Late at night, I'd think about Caroline. She was a victim in all this, just like Richard. She didn't ask to be born from an affair. She didn't deserve to have her world destroyed. Then I'd remind myself, I didn't destroy it. Vanessa did. I just refused to keep her secret. 3 months passed in my little beach house, and I fell into a routine I'd never known before. I woke up when I wanted to. I made breakfast for myself, just myself, and ate it slowly, watching the waves. I took walks on the beach. I read books I'd bought years ago but never had time to open. I even started a small garden in the backyard, planting tomatoes and herbs like I'd always dreamed of doing. It was peaceful. Almost too peaceful. Sometimes the quiet felt so loud I didn't know what to do with it. I'd blocked most of my old contacts, wanting a clean break from that life. But I kept one connection, Maria, another housekeeper who worked 3 houses down from the Sterlings. We'd been friends for 15 years, shared countless coffee breaks and complaints about our employers. She was the only one who had my new number. One afternoon in late September, my phone rang. Maria. Ellen, honey, I wasn't sure if I should call you, she said. Her voice sounded worried. I sat up straighter on my porch chair. What's wrong? It's about the Sterling situation, she said. I thought you should know what's been happening. It's gotten complicated. My stomach tightened. Tell me. Maria took a deep breath. Okay, so first, Caroline dropped out of college. She came back about a month ago and she's been living with her dad, but Ellen, she's not the same girl. She barely leaves her room. Mrs. Patterson, you know, the neighbor, she says she hears her crying at night sometimes. I closed my eyes. This was what I'd been afraid of. And Richard? He's holding it together, barely. Threw himself into work. But here's the thing that's really crazy, Vanessa came back. What? I nearly dropped my phone. 2 weeks ago. She showed up at the house, begging. Made this whole scene in the driveway. Richard wouldn't let her in, but she's been staying at the Hampton in downtown. And Ellen, she's been asking about you. Cold dread washed over me. Asking what? Where you are. How to contact you. She's been telling people you stole documents from her office, that you had no right to give Richard that DNA test. She's trying to flip the whole narrative, make herself the victim. I laughed, but there was no humor in it. Of course she is. There's more, Maria said quietly. She hired a lawyer. She's trying to claim that the DNA test was illegally obtained, that you violated her privacy. She wants to sue you. Now I did stand up, pacing the porch. Sue me? For what? Telling the truth? I don't know all the legal details, but she's desperate, Ellen. She lost everything. Her reputation is destroyed. The country club revoked her membership. Her so-called friends won't return her calls. She's grasping at straws, trying to find someone to blame, and you're the easiest target. I thought about that $50,000 sitting in my bank account. Money that had given me this new life, this peace. Was Vanessa going to try to take that away too? Let her try, I said, surprised by the steel in my own voice. I didn't break any laws. I found documents in an unlocked drawer while doing my job. And I had every right to correct an injustice. I know that, honey. I just wanted to warn you. She's angry and she's cornered, which makes her dangerous. After we hung up, I sat back down and stared at the ocean. The waves kept coming, steady and unchanging, indifferent to human drama. I wished I could be like that, unaffected, unmoved. But I wasn't. Because despite everything Vanessa had done, despite how she'd treated me, I still felt a nagging sense of guilt about Caroline. That young woman's whole identity had been shattered, and I was part of the reason why. That night, I did something I probably shouldn't have. I looked up Caroline Sterling on social media. Her Instagram was public, probably had been for years, just another sign of the privileged life where you never expect anything bad to happen. The most recent photos were from 6 months ago. Caroline at college, smiling with friends. Caroline at some formal event, wearing a designer dress. Caroline and Richard, his arm around her shoulders, both of them laughing at something off camera. Then nothing. For 3 months, complete silence. I scrolled through the comments on her last post. Where are you? Miss you, girl. Everything okay? Her friends were worried. I shouldn't have, but I sent her a message. Just a simple one. Caroline, this is Ellen, your family's former housekeeper. I hope you're doing okay. I'm sorry for everything you're going through. If you ever want to talk, I'm here. I hit send before I could second-guess myself, then immediately regretted it. What was I thinking? She probably hated me. I was the person who'd blown up her entire world. I didn't expect a response. But 3 hours later, at almost midnight, my phone pinged. Why did you do it? My heart raced. I stared at those 4 words for a long time before typing back. Because your father deserved to know the truth. And so did you. The 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. This went on for almost 5 minutes. Finally. I've been so angry. At my mom, obviously. But also at you. You worked for us for 20 years. Why now? Why not tell him years ago? That was fair. I'd asked myself the same question 1,000 times. I only found out 3 days before I told him, I wrote back. I found the test results by accident. And once I knew, I couldn't just keep working there, pretending everything was fine. I couldn't watch your father live a lie. Another long pause. Then, everyone keeps asking me if I'm okay. If I need anything. But nobody will just let me be angry. Dad keeps trying to tell me that he still loves me, that biology doesn't matter, that I'm still his daughter. But how am I supposed to believe that? How am I supposed to trust anything anymore? I understood that feeling more than she knew. You're allowed to be angry, I typed. You're allowed to feel betrayed and confused and hurt. What happened to you isn't fair. But Caroline, your father does love you. That part was never a lie. I saw it every single day for 20 years. Then why did he freeze my trust fund? Oh. So that's what this was really about. Not just the emotional betrayal, but the financial reality setting in. I don't know the legal details, I wrote carefully. But I imagine his lawyers advised him to protect himself during the divorce. It's probably not personal. Everything is personal, she shot back. My whole life is a lie. My mom is a stranger. My dad is not my dad. And the woman who helped raise me destroyed everything and then disappeared. So yeah, Ellen, it's all pretty fucking personal. I deserved that. I sat there trying to figure out what to say, how to make any of this better. But the truth was, I couldn't. Some things can't be fixed with words. You're right, I finally wrote. And I'm sorry. I'm not asking for your forgiveness. I just want you to know that I thought about you before I did what I did. I knew it would hurt you. But I also knew that living with a lie hurts too, just in a different way. Sometimes there are no good choices, only less bad ones. The dots appeared one more time, then stopped. She didn't respond after that. I sat up until 2 a.m. waiting, but nothing came. Eventually, I put my phone down and tried to sleep. A week later, I got a letter. Not an email, not a text, an actual physical letter, forwarded from my old P.O. box to my new address. The return address was a law firm in the city. Vanessa had made good on her threat. I opened it with shaking hands. Legal language filled the pages, but the basic message was clear. Vanessa Sterling was suing me for unlawful invasion of privacy, theft of confidential documents, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. She was seeking damages of $100,000 plus legal fees. I sat down heavily at my kitchen table. $100,000. Money I didn't have. Money that would wipe out everything Richard had given me and then some. Money that would force me to sell this house, this new life I'd built. For a moment, just a moment, I wondered if I'd made a mistake. If I should have just thrown that DNA test away, kept my mouth shut, and lived with the knowledge quietly. I'd still have my job. Vanessa would still have her secrets. Richard would still be in the dark. Caroline would still be happy. But no. That wasn't right either. Living a lie doesn't make you happy, it just makes you ignorant. And ignorance might be bliss, but it's not the same as peace. I called a lawyer. Her name was Jennifer Martinez, and she'd been recommended by Maria. I explained the situation, sent her copies of the lawsuit, and waited for her verdict. Okay, Jennifer said when she called me back the next day. First, take a breath. This lawsuit is bullshit, excuse my language, but it's weak. Very weak. How so? Well, for starters, you were an employee in the house with regular access to that office. The drawer was unlocked. You didn't break into anything. Technically, yes, the documents were private, but they weren't locked away or marked as confidential. That makes it hard to prove theft in a legal sense. What about invasion of privacy? Trickier, but still manageable. You didn't steal the documents for personal gain or to sell to tabloids. You didn't post them online. You gave them to the person who had the most right to know, her husband. Any judge is going to see that context matters here. I felt a tiny bit of relief. And the emotional distress part? Jennifer snorted. Please. She committed adultery, lied to her husband for 2 decades, and let him raise another man's child under false pretenses. Then she fired you falsely accusing you of theft. Her emotional distress is entirely self-inflicted. No jury in the world is going to feel sorry for her. So you think we can win? I think we can get this dismissed before it even goes to trial. But Ellen, I need you to be honest with me about something. Why did you really give that DNA test to Mr. Sterling? Was there any part of you that wanted revenge? I thought about that question carefully. No, I finally said. I mean, sure, I was hurt and angry when she fired me. But that's not why I did it. I did it because it was the right thing to do. Because he deserved to know. Because living a lie isn't really living. Good, Jennifer said. Hold on to that truth. Because if this does go to court, that's what's going to save you. The next month was stressful in a way that even 20 years of working for the Sterlings hadn't prepared me for. Jennifer filed a motion to dismiss, and we waited. Vanessa's lawyer pushed back, filed more paperwork, made more accusations. It became clear that this wasn't really about the law for Vanessa, it was about hurting me the way she'd been hurt. But then something unexpected happened. Richard Sterling called me. I almost didn't answer. We hadn't spoken since that first morning after everything imploded, but curiosity got the better of me. Ellen, he said. I heard about Vanessa's lawsuit. News travels fast, I said carefully. In our circles, it always does. He paused. I want you to know that I've instructed my lawyer to file a countersuit against her. For fraud. For emotional damages. For everything. And I'm also prepared to testify on your behalf if this goes to trial. I was stunned. Mr. Sterling, you don't have to. Richard, he corrected. And yes, I do. Ellen, you did nothing wrong. You told me a truth that my wife had been hiding for 20 years. The fact that she's now trying to destroy you for that? It's disgusting. I won't let it happen. Thank you, I whispered. There's something else, he said. Caroline wants to talk to you. She's been seeing a therapist, working through everything, and apparently your name keeps coming up. Would you be willing to meet with her? My first instinct was to say no. What could I possibly say to this girl that would make things better? But then I thought about that midnight message exchange, about her anger and confusion, and I realized she deserved closure just as much as I did. Yes, I said. I'll meet with her. We met at a coffee shop halfway between her city and my beach town. Neutral territory. I got there early and sat by the window, watching people walk by, trying to calm my nerves. When Caroline walked in, I almost didn't recognize her. The polished, confident college girl from those Instagram photos was gone. This Caroline had shadows under her eyes. Her hair was pulled back in a messy ponytail. She wore jeans and an old sweatshirt, the kind of outfit the old Caroline would never have been caught dead in. But when she saw me, she smiled. It was small and sad, but it was real. Hi, Ellen, she said, sliding into the booth across from me. Hi, sweetheart. The old nickname slipped out before I could stop it. We ordered coffee. Made small talk about the weather, about the drive. Danced around the real reason we were there. Finally, Caroline took a deep breath. I've been really angry at you, she said. I know. But my therapist helped me understand something. You didn't ruin my life. My mom did. You just brought the truth out. And the truth was always there, whether I knew it or not. I nodded, not trusting myself to speak. I found him, she said suddenly. My biological father. The chauffeur. His name is David Martinez. He's working at a car dealership in Nevada now. Has a wife and 2 kids, my half-siblings, I guess. Have you talked to him? Once. On the phone. She stirred her coffee absently. He didn't even know I existed. My mom told him she'd had a miscarriage. He moved away and moved on with his life. When I called him and explained everything, he cried. Actually cried. Said he'd always wondered, always hoped, but never thought. She trailed off, staring out the window. Are you going to see him? I asked. I don't know. Maybe. Part of me wants to. But part of me feels like Richard, like Dad, is the only father I need. Biology doesn't change who raised me, you know? That's very mature of you. She laughed, but it was bitter. I don't feel mature. I feel like a kid whose whole world got turned upside down. But I'm trying to figure it out. We sat in silence for a moment. Then Caroline looked at me directly, her honey brown eyes, David's eyes, meeting mine. Thank you, she said. I blinked. For what? For telling the truth. For caring about my dad enough to show him. For not just walking away when my mom fired you. You could have. You could have taken that test and thrown it away and none of this would have happened. But you didn't. You did the hard thing. The right thing. Tears pricked my eyes. I was so worried I'd hurt you. You did hurt me, she said honestly. But my mom hurt me more. And you know what? Living a lie would have hurt me too, eventually. The truth always comes out. Always. You just sped up the timeline. We talked for another hour. She told me about therapy, about how she was taking a gap year to figure out who she was without all the lies. How Richard was actually being amazing about everything, proving that love isn't about DNA. How she'd blocked her mother's number and wasn't ready to forgive her yet, maybe never would be. And I told her about my little beach house, about my garden, about the quiet life I'd built. She seemed genuinely happy for me. When we finally said goodbye, Caroline hugged me. A real hug, not the polite kind. Take care of yourself, Ellen, she said. You too, sweetheart. You too. 2 weeks after my coffee shop meeting with Caroline, Jennifer called with news. The judge dismissed Vanessa's lawsuit, she said, and I could hear the smile in her voice. Completely. With prejudice, which means she can't refile it. I sat down on my porch steps, phone pressed to my ear. Really? Really? The judge said, and I'm reading from the ruling here, the plaintiff's claim lacks merit and appears to be a retaliatory action against a former employee who disclosed information that the defendant's spouse had a legitimate interest in knowing. Furthermore, the plaintiff's own conduct, including adultery and fraud, undermines any claim to privacy or emotional distress damages. Oh my God, I breathed. It gets better, Jennifer continued. Richard Sterling's countersuit is moving forward. His lawyers are going after her for fraud, breach of the prenuptial agreement, and emotional damages. They're arguing that she defrauded him into supporting a child that wasn't his under false pretenses. Between you and me? She's going to lose badly. She might even face criminal charges depending on how aggressive Richard wants to be. For a moment, I felt a surge of vindication. Then, surprisingly, a wave of sadness. Vanessa Sterling had been cruel and entitled and dishonest, but watching her entire life crumble still felt heavy. No matter how much she deserved consequences, there was no joy in it. Thank you, Jennifer, I said. For everything. You're welcome. Ellen? You did the right thing. Don't ever doubt that. After we hung up, I walked down to the beach. The sun was setting, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. Families were packing up their beach chairs, kids running through the surf one last time before dinner. It was such a normal, peaceful scene, the kind I'd watched from the Sterling mansion windows for years but never got to experience myself. I'd been so busy surviving, so focused on serving others, that I'd forgotten what it felt like to just exist. To be a person with wants and needs and dreams that mattered. My phone buzzed. A text from Maria, heard about the lawsuit. Congratulations. Drinks on me next time you're in town? Then another text, this time from a number I didn't recognize. Ellen, it's Richard. Wanted you to hear it from me directly, the case was dismissed. Thank you for standing your ground. Also, Caroline told me about your meeting. She seemed lighter afterward. Whatever you said to her, it helped. I'm grateful. I typed back, she's a strong young woman. She's going to be okay. And Richard? So are you. His response came quickly, I hope so. Some days I believe it. Other days, not so much. But I'm trying. Aren't we all, I thought. November arrived with cooler weather and shorter days. My little beach town emptied out as tourists headed home for the holidays. The quiet suited me just fine. I decorated my house with a small Christmas tree, the first one I'd bought for myself in decades. Working for the Sterlings, I'd always helped decorate their massive tree, hung garlands on their grand staircase, arranged poinsettias throughout the house. But I'd never had my own celebration. This year, my tree was small and a little crooked, with mismatched ornaments from the local dollar store. It was perfect. On Thanksgiving morning, I got an unexpected knock on my door. When I opened it, Caroline stood there holding a pie. Surprise, she said, looking nervous. I hope this is okay. I know we didn't plan anything, but Dad's spending Thanksgiving with his brother's family, and I wasn't ready for that whole scene. All the questions, the pity looks, you know? So I thought, maybe I could spend it with you? If that's weird, I can leave. I brought pie though. Pumpkin. I made it myself. I felt tears prick my eyes. Come in, sweetheart. We spent the day together. I cooked a small turkey, my first time making Thanksgiving dinner for just pleasure, not obligation. Caroline helped, though she admitted she barely knew how to cook. Mom always had it catered, she said with a rueful laugh. Or you made it, and we just showed up to eat. We talked while we worked. She told me she decided to go back to school in January, but to a different university. A fresh start. She was thinking about studying psychology. All this therapy had made her interested in how people process trauma. That's wonderful, I said, basting the turkey. I also met with David. My biological father. She said it casually, but I could hear the weight behind the words. How did that go? Weird. Really weird. He looks like me, like, it's scary how much we have the same nose and eyes. His kids, my half-siblings, they're cute. 8 and 10. They kept staring at me. She paused, chopping celery for the stuffing. He's nice. A little awkward, but nice. He said he'd like to be part of my life if I want that. Do you? She considered this. Maybe? I don't know yet. I told him I need time. That I already have a dad, and I'm not looking to replace him. But maybe there's room for both? Family doesn't have to be either or, right? Right, I agreed. Family is what you make it. She smiled at that. Speaking of which, Ellen, would it be weird if I called you sometimes? Like, not all the time, but just, when I need someone to talk to who isn't my therapist or my dad. My heart swelled. I'd like that very much. We ate dinner at my small kitchen table, just the two of us. It wasn't fancy. No china, no crystal, no elaborate centerpiece. Just honest food and honest company. Caroline said grace, something I'd never heard her do at the Sterling house, and we talked and laughed until the sun went down. Before she left, she hugged me tight. Thank you for today. And Ellen? I know this whole situation has been awful, but I'm glad you're in my life. I'm glad I know the truth. Even if it hurts, it's better than living a lie. After she drove away, I cleaned up the dishes and thought about her words. Better than living a lie. That's what I'd believed when I left that DNA test for Richard. But hearing Caroline say it, seeing her slowly putting herself back together, that's when I knew for sure I'd made the right choice. Christmas came and went quietly. I video called my sister in Oregon. We'd been estranged for years after a stupid fight, but she'd reached out when she heard through the grapevine about everything that had happened. We were slowly rebuilding our relationship. Caroline sent me a care package with homemade cookies and a card that read, "To Ellen, who taught me that sometimes the bravest thing you can do is tell the truth. Merry Christmas." Richard sent a generous check with a note, "For your new beginning. You've earned it." And Vanessa? I heard through Maria that she'd moved to Arizona, living with a distant cousin. The divorce had been finalized. She got almost nothing. Richard's lawyers had proven fraud, and the prenup held firm. Her reputation was destroyed. The life she'd built on lies had collapsed completely. Part of me felt sorry for her. Part of me didn't. Mostly, I just felt done. Her story was no longer my concern. As January rolled around, I started volunteering at a local community center, helping seniors with basic tasks like grocery shopping and home maintenance. After spending 20 years serving one wealthy family, it felt good to help people who actually needed it, who appreciated it, who said thank you and meant it. One afternoon at the community center, I met a woman named Dorothy. She was 83, sharp as a tack, and had opinions about everything. We got to talking over coffee, and somehow the conversation turned to secrets. "I kept a big secret once," Dorothy said, stirring sugar into her cup. "My husband was cheating on me. I found out, but I never confronted him. Just pretended I didn't know for 15 years, until he died." "Why didn't you say anything?" I asked. She shrugged. "Fear, I guess. Fear of being alone. Fear of starting over at my age. Fear of what people would think. So I just lived with it. And you know what? Those were the most miserable 15 years of my life. Not because of the cheating itself, but because of the pretending. The lying to myself. The acting." She looked at me with watery blue eyes. "Secrets are poison, Ellen. They might seem like they're protecting you, but really they're just killing you slowly. You did right by telling the truth, whatever truth you told. Always better to rip the bandage off than to let the wound fester underneath." I thought about that conversation for days afterward. Secrets are poison. That's exactly what Vanessa's secret had been, poison that infected every relationship in that house. The marriage. The parent-child bond. Even my own relationship with the family, built on the foundation of a lie I didn't know existed. By telling the truth, I hadn't destroyed anything. I'd just exposed what was already broken. February brought an unexpected visitor. I was in my garden, planting spring vegetables, when a car pulled up. A man got out, looking nervous and uncertain. He was in his early 40s, handsome, with honey brown eyes I recognized immediately. "Are you Ellen?" he asked. "I am." "And you're David Martinez?" He looked surprised. "Caroline told you about me?" "She did. Would you like some iced tea?" We sat on my porch, and he told me his story. How he'd worked for the Sterlings right out of college, saving money to start his own business. How Vanessa had pursued him, made him feel special, wanted. How he'd been young and stupid and flattered by the attention of a beautiful, wealthy woman. When she told me she was pregnant, I was terrified but ready to step up, he said, staring at his hands. Then 2 weeks later, she said she'd miscarried. I was devastated. I quit the job, moved away, tried to forget. Met my wife a year later and built a new life. And then last month, I get this call from a girl saying she's my daughter. That Vanessa lied. That I've missed 18 years of her life. His voice cracked. 18 years, Ellen. 18 birthdays, first days of school, graduations. All stolen from me because Vanessa wanted to keep her perfect life intact. I'm sorry, I said. And I meant it. David was as much a victim in this as Richard and Caroline. Caroline said you're the one who revealed the truth. That you found the DNA test and gave it to Richard Sterling. I did. He looked at me with something like awe. Thank you. I know it's complicated, and I know Caroline's still figuring out how she feels about me. But at least now I know. At least now I have a chance to be in her life. That's because of you. We talked for over an hour. He showed me pictures of his other kids, talked about how his wife was being incredibly supportive through all this. He asked me about Caroline, what she was like growing up, what her interests were, what made her laugh. I told him stories, filled in 18 years of blanks as best I could. Before he left, he shook my hand. You did a brave thing, Ellen. Not everyone would have. After he drove away, I sat on my porch and thought about all the lives that had been changed by one moment of truth. Richard, Caroline, David, Vanessa, even me. We were all different people now than we'd been 6 months ago. Better people? Maybe. Maybe not. But at least we were people living in truth instead of lies. Spring arrived in full force, bringing tourists back to the beach and warmth to the air. I joined a book club at the local library. Made friends with my neighbors. Started taking yoga classes on the beach at sunrise. One morning in April, I was doing my grocery shopping when I literally ran into someone with my cart. Oh, I'm so sorry, I started, then stopped. Vanessa Sterling stood in front of me. She looked terrible. The perfectly coiffed hair was dull and gray at the roots. The designer clothes were replaced with discount store jeans and a faded t-shirt. She'd aged 10 years in 6 months. We stared at each other. Other shoppers moved around us, oblivious to the tension crackling in the air. Ellen, she finally said. Her voice was hoarse, like she'd been crying. Vanessa. I suppose you're happy now, she said bitterly. You destroyed my life. Something in me snapped. Not with anger, but with clarity. No, I said firmly. You destroyed your own life. You made choices, to cheat, to lie, to let an innocent man raise another man's child without knowing the truth. You fired me to cover your tracks, calling me a thief when the only thing I'd ever stolen from you was the power to keep lying. I didn't destroy anything, Vanessa. I just stopped protecting you from the consequences of your own actions. Her face crumpled. For a moment, I thought she might cry right there in the produce section. Instead, she straightened up, lifted her chin in that old familiar way, and said, You had no right. Maybe not, I admitted. But someone had to do something. And clearly it wasn't going to be you. I pushed my cart past her and continued shopping. My hands were shaking, but I felt lighter. I'd said what needed to be said. Finally, after all these months, I'd told Vanessa Sterling exactly what I thought of her. I didn't look back. Summer arrived, and with it, my first anniversary in the beach house. 1 year of freedom. 1 year of peace. 1 year of living for myself. Caroline came to visit for a week in July. She'd finished her freshman year at her new school with a 3.8 GPA. She'd joined a sorority, made new friends, even started dating someone. She seemed happy, not the carefree happiness of ignorance, but the deeper, more resilient happiness of someone who'd been through hell and come out the other side. Dad's doing better too, she told me as we walked along the beach. He's been dating, actually. This nice woman he met at his gym. It's weird seeing him with someone other than Mom, but good weird, you know? He deserves to be happy. He does, I agreed. And so do you. Are you happy, Caroline? She thought about it. Yeah, she said slowly. I actually am. It's different than before. Before, I was happy because I didn't know any better. I thought my life was perfect because that's what I was told. But now? Now I'm happy because I've worked for it. I've gone to therapy, I've forgiven what I can, I've let go of what I can't control. This happiness feels earned. That's the best kind, I said. On her last day, we had breakfast on the porch. Caroline looked at me seriously. Ellen, I need to ask you something. Do you ever regret it? Telling Dad the truth? I'd asked myself that question 100 times. The answer had changed over the months, evolved as I processed everything. But now, sitting here in the life I'd built, watching the girl I'd helped raise become a woman I admired, I knew my answer. No, I said. I don't regret it. It was hard, and messy, and painful for everyone involved. But secrets like that, they're like termites in the foundation of a house. You might not see them, but they're eating away at everything until eventually it all comes crashing down anyway. I just sped up the inevitable. She nodded, satisfied with that answer. Good. Because I don't regret it either. I mean, I wish my mom had been honest from the start. I wish none of this had been necessary. But since it was necessary, I'm glad you were the one brave enough to do it. After she left, I sat on my porch and watched the sunset. Tomorrow I'd wake up and tend my garden. I'd volunteer at the community center. I'd have coffee with Dorothy and laugh at her outrageous stories. I'd live my simple, quiet, honest life. Was it the life I'd imagined when I first started working for the Sterlings 20 years ago? No. That young woman had dreamed of stability, of being valued, of being part of something bigger than herself. But this life, this messy, hard one, authentic life, was better than any dream I could have imagined back then. Because it was mine. Built on truth, not lies. Earned, not given. Free, not bought. I thought about Vanessa sometimes, wondered if she'd found any peace in her new life in Arizona. I doubted it. Some people never learn that you can't outrun the truth. It always catches up eventually. I thought about Richard, hoping he'd find real love this time. The kind built on honesty and trust. I thought about David, grateful he got a second chance at fatherhood. And I thought about Caroline, so proud of the woman she was becoming. But mostly, I thought about myself. About the woman who'd spent 20 years invisible, serving others, keeping quiet. The woman who'd finally spoken up when it mattered most. The woman who'd chosen truth over comfort, justice over security. That woman was me. And for the first time in my life, I was proud of her. The sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in brilliant purples and pinks. Another day done. Another day lived in truth. And that, I thought, was everything. If you enjoyed this story, remember, sometimes the bravest thing you can do is tell the truth, even when it costs you everything. Especially when it costs you everything. Because a life built on lies isn't really a life at all, it's just an elaborate performance. And eventually, every performance has to end. The truth might hurt. It might destroy. It might cost you your job, your security, your comfort. But it will also set you free. And freedom, I learned, is worth any price.